how's it going, everybody? BurntBrian here, and welcome back to another Tall Can Tuesday. In this video series, I like to give you updates on my life and the future of the channel, answer random questions, and talk about topics submitted by you, the fine viewers, and of course, drink some beer. Now tonight, I'm not going to be drinking on some fancy craft beer, but if you click this link right here, it'll take you to my most recent beer review, what I'm calling my Thirsty Thursday videos, and you can stay tuned every Thursday for brand new beer reviews, so be sure and check that out. Anyway, this beer today was a suggestion from G13 O'Keefe. He said he'd like to see me drink a Naddy Daddy. It's the most economic beer with the highest alcohol content, yet still somewhat healthy if you're trying to lose weight, I suppose. Fewer calories, less filling. Anyway, thanks, big shout out to you, as well as a shout out to Florida 32 Ounce and RSCO. Both of those are awesome guys in this YouTube drinking community. But again, we do have the big one, the Naddy Daddy. And honestly, I did this video last week and the entire file had been corrupted, but up until that point I had not had a Naddy Daddy. I had had all of the, Natural Light. I grew up drinking a lot of. My parents used to get those when we were younger. That was their main thing. It was cheap and, they'd buy a ton of it, and as a kid we'd steal it from them. So I've never had this 8% Naddy Daddy before other than last week, so we're going to do this again. I ran through and did all of these questions, and then of course had a computer error or some sort of camera error trying to use my still frame to film with, and so we're going to do this all over again, and I've got some more interesting things to talk about. Stay tuned till the very end when I do my normal ending with a story time, and I've got one hell of a crazy story to tell you about what happened this weekend. But let's jump right into this. We're going to start off with a question from Maniac541. He says, oh, what am I doing? I gotta crack this beer open. And I'm still trying to get over a little bit of a cough, some sort of cold that I've got, so bear with me a little bit on that. But I wasn't going to let a little bit of a remnants of a cold keep me from doing a video this week since I missed last week. But anyway, cheers. This one's for all of you watching. Salud. Not too bad at all. Again, much more of a body to it than the Natural Light, but still light, crisp, refreshing. All in all, it's a good beer. I don't have any issues with any of these beers. I mean, like I said, I'm not so much of a snob that I'd say I never drink this stuff. I used to drink these kind of beers all the time, especially growing up when I was younger, more, had less of a budget. Great tasting stuff, and especially during, the hot summers which are coming, I do like a light, refreshing beer like this. So, anyway, no hating coming from me in this side. So back to Maniac541, he says, have you ever smoked salvia? That's one I won't touch again. And yeah, I've had salvia. Again, I've done just about everything under the sun, or at least experimented with it once, and it was definitely an interesting one. Not one that I really care to do again. We used to do salvia, and then we'd sometimes, do whippets and stuff right after. It's probably not a good combination when you're, trying to inhale an entire bowl in one hit of this herb, and then you're doing some crazy, what the hell is it called? Whatever that shit is in the nitrous oxide. Anyway, doing those stupid nitrous cartridges, it was just a bad experience. I mean, it would seriously mess you up. I remember falling down several times. I've watched friends fall through stuff. Thankfully we didn't have any broken windows, but you can search YouTube videos for salvia trips, and, you see people doing crazy stuff, falling through the, a glass window in their house, and it's just a crazy herb that, from what I understand, maybe I'm wrong on this, but a buddy of mine had told me that basically salvia used to be something that Native American shaman used to use to gain insight and gain wisdom, and that supposedly there's this whole transgression, this whole path you're supposed to go on as you smoke this stuff, and it's supposed to, lead you to some sort of enlightenment, and that as you sit back and relax and concentrate, you see things flying over your head, just, things you can't really make out or understand, and that as time goes on, you start to realize that these are like mathematical equations. And anyway, this is from what one person told me, but that supposedly you're supposed to get closer to this doorway, and once you actually do enough and you go through that doorway, that's where these shaman medicine men used to get their power from. I don't know how true any of that stuff is, but it's definitely not one that I really want to explore again. I honestly don't want to mess around with any recreational stuff other than marijuana, which to me has a whole lot of more medicinal benefits to me beyond just being something fun to do or to take your mind off things. It's got a lot of great benefits to it. But other than that, maybe ayahuasca or something I would try if I was in company of, an actual shaman, performing the ritual and all that. I think that would be the only time I'm going to do some sort of crazy, spiritual journey, at least anytime soon. But anyway, thanks for the question, Maniac. Cheers. All right. Now we go to Francisco F., who's always asking me a lot of awesome questions. All right, so Francisco says, being down in Florida, you like the Latinas? And I definitely like Latinas. I like preferably like Latin women in particular. There's just something I've always enjoyed about Latin women. They've got a look to them. There's a personality, like there's a flair or spark to them. Sometimes I can be kind of intense in my life, in my personal life. Not so much, you guys I don't think really see on camera too much, but I like the fiery intensity that some Latin women have, and I don't know, that's just something that's always attracted me to them, besides just generally being sunbathed goddesses that look beautiful. And in general, and hopefully I don't cause too much hate with this one, but I am somebody who is more in favor of legal Latino people being here, and so I don't know, like the way I guess I look at it is my ancestry came down here, from England, and I've got a whole bunch of cool info on family tree stuff from a long time ago, but maybe sometime I'll go into that. But I had a General James Moore who fought alongside Stonewall Jackson in the taking of St. Augustine, and I don't know, I guess it's just I respect this country so much, and going to the Capitol, and just that was to me the biggest thing, was to go to DC and see all of those monuments. To see the Lincoln Memorial was unbelievable, and looking out over the reflection pond from Forrest Gump, obviously. But all of those historic buildings, it was just such a beautiful experience, beautiful place. And, I'm a big patriotic person, and I believe in, the laws. And until things change, it's the same thing with, we don't call drug dealers, undocumented pharmacists. So, these people that are coming here illegally, whether they're good people just looking for a home or whatever, it's not the right way to do it. And I don't, so I'm in favor of people actually doing the right thing and becoming a citizen the natural way, not just coming over here and claiming this is theirs. And if they're going to do that, well, then expect a fight. And, if you win, then you win. Great. Otherwise, it's, then you lose and people die. But anyway, I don't know. Hopefully I don't get too much hate for that, but that is my views. I do think that people should obey the laws that are part of the land and come here legally, and then I have no problem with anybody, with people of all colors, all nationalities, all everything. You're all welcome here. So thanks for the question. That's definitely probably a loaded one or a hated one, that some people may not like that opinion or that stance, but it's just, just my opinion, man. Anyway, cheers. He also says, what would your dream car be? Well, I'm a big nerd, so probably it's a toss-up for me. My dream car would either be the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and it doesn't have to be like the real DeLorean, just an actual DeLorean that I could soup up to make look just like the time machine. But I think even beyond that, my favorite car throughout all the television and all of that was KITT from Knight Rider, Knight Industries 2000. That was... the Knight Rider car was so cool, and it's still, that body style is one of my favorite cars of all time. And I love the Trans Ams, the T-tops. They were awesome, man. And to have a car, where you could get in and it talks to you like that, I thought that would be so cool. So I've always wanted, if I had cash, to kind of build my own KITT car and put my own personal computer in, now that we somewhat have the technology to where people have the Amazon Echoes and different things like that, where you can actually talk to the computer and get responses. You've got Cortana on Windows 10, all that stuff. Without all the spying and stuff, it'd be neat to have my own personal computer that would talk, and a badass car like that. That's probably my stupid dream car. Of course, there's so many other ones, like the Batmobile and things like that, the iconic ones. But for me, I like the simplicity, the old school Trans Am look. That's my thing. He also asked, what's the most redneck things you do or did, if any? Well, I grew up in a one stoplight town. That's all we had, and I guess it's redneck. I don't know. I've got a lot of good friends out in the country, and we used to do some crazy stuff. Usually every weekend, you know, where I grew up, again, the big thing to do was go out in the woods and drink, and that was kind of the most rebellious things a lot of us kids did. We'd have like Blue Boy, and for a long time there was a place called, was it Breezy Point, I think was the name of it. And, you know, it was this little offshoot down to a lake bed where people would do mudding and stuff, and we'd bring our kegs out there, and people would just be jamming to music. We'd have a little fire out in the woods. Cops really hardly ever came out and busted those kind of things. So it was just like a good way. I mean, you just go out in the woods and party down. You're not causing any trouble to anybody, and everybody's just having a good time getting wasted out in the woods. Other than that, though, you know, like my buddy, his dad used to have a whole bunch of these old cars sitting around in the yard, and so what we would do is try to take random parts and pieces from one and try to build something good enough to run, and then down on the side of their house they had these, I mean, I can't even really describe it. I don't know how long they were. They were several miles long, maybe not several miles. I mean, at least a couple miles, and so in either direction, it's a giant clay pit. So you're down in the bottom of this pit, and we just tear up cars down there, just having fun, you know. And if it broke down, we just tie a tractor to it, tow it back to the house. I remember one time the radiator was falling off on this truck, so we used duct tape and like chicken wire or something to hold it in there long enough for us to get a couple hour, at least an hour or so run out of it in the pit. Other than that, I just recently, well, not too long ago, you can check out a video on my channel where I went out and did some mud bogging with some friends, and that's just a super cool experience. Never done anything like it, and I used to think, man, fuck that, I don't want to go out there and get dirty and covered in mud, but it's really such an awesome experience. Those four-wheelers are badass. When you're literally floating across a river on this heavy four-wheeler, you know, you can literally go anywhere on it. It's pretty badass. I definitely... If I had the money one day, I would love to get a toy like a really awesome four-wheeler, something that I could, you know, take out there and have a good time with everybody during the fun summer days. Just leaving completely covered in head to toe in mud, but such an awesome experience. But anyway, I appreciate all your questions as always. Hopefully I gave you some fun answers there, and cheers. Alright, so I'm not too sure what just happened. I know now I guess my video camera is giving me issues too. I just can't seem to get anything to work right, but hopefully this will continue to film, and hopefully everything I just did recorded alright. We'll have to see when I do the editing here in a little while. But anyway, that was all the questions that I have, so I'm going to go on to a few shout-outs that I wanted to do, just like I did at the beginning. I want to shout out a channel called Ohio Review. He does a lot of awesome food reviews, just general like fun games and stuff that they play, like some fun challenges and stuff with his friends and family. Definitely check them out. And of course, my friends at Country Challenge. Those are some fellow Floridians that do a lot of fun challenges on their channel. I remember just not too long ago they did a yogurt and beer chug, which was a crazy kind of video. They're just a lot of fun guys. Hopefully I get a chance to hang out with them and have a beer here in the near future. But also want to shout out Main Event Pong, another great channel you guys should check out. They're in California. They've done a lot of stuff with reckless eating, or at least some stuff with reckless eating, and a lot of other channels. Just really good people. Highly recommend you check them out, especially if you're a fan of beer pong. They do a lot of fun variations. And last one for right now is Mr. Paradise Weiss. This is my friend Jeff. He's a really good guy, awesome chili reviewer, whole lot of fun to watch. His channel, always, every time his videos come up, they always make me laugh. Just really cool dude. You guys should definitely check him out. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got for now. And of course, I'm going to get to my story in just a minute, but there are a couple topics that I wanted to just briefly touch on since I have a decent little amount of this beer left. I'm going to go ahead and take another swig. So, I don't know if any of you guys use Instagram, but I have to ask you this. Do all of you get the same kind of like ton of requests that I do? Like, I mean, obviously, there just seems to be a ton of cam girls on Instagram that are just, I don't know what their deal is. I don't know what they're trying to do, but it just seems like it's constant. Like, that's all I get. And maybe it's because I liked one or two, and it's not just regular cam girls, too. There are a ton of those. But then now I'm getting a ton of Asian girls, and maybe it's because I liked one or two because they had some awesome pictures. They weren't cam girls or anything. These are just Asian people, and they had a lot of, really awesome pictures, so I like some of their stuff, and now I'm getting, tons of like follows and stuff from random people that I have no idea where they're coming from, but it does seem to be a plague, at least on Instagram. I'm wondering if any of you guys have experienced the same, where that's all I really seem to be getting a lot of attention from is random, unknown, like either cam whores or Asian girls. I don't understand where that's coming from, but I don't know. Anyway, I thought that was a weird thing. The one thing I did want to talk about today was just the other day I actually broke 100,000 views on my my channel, and to me that's a big deal. Like it's one of those milestones. I never really set that as a goal, but as I started getting to like 70,000 views and stuff, I started going, man, how cool would it be to sit back and think on all of these videos. So I think it was, at the time that I noticed, it was 442 videos that I've uploaded to this date, and that one was the somehow I've got 100,000 views over all of those videos, which is pretty damn awesome to me. So I don't know, I just I can't say thank you enough to everybody that's been following and supporting along. I mean, it really does mean a lot to me, and hopefully here we go on to 200,000, and I don't know, I'm just super excited. Like I've got some high hopes for this year. Actually coming up, it's going to be April 19th, but I actually celebrate on the 20th because 420 is so much better. But my first real hot sauce or spicy related video was uploaded 3 years ago on April 19th. So April 20th is when I'm going to put up some fun video kind of saying thank you to everybody. Here I am 3 years later, the anniversary of starting doing all these videos. And it's just been one interesting journey. I continue to learn, continue to grow in a sense. I've just spent so much money trying to, make things better for the content as far as like lighting goes and new cameras and camera equipment and all that. And I really enjoy doing this. This is a fun hobby for me. And, and it does mean a lot that people actually enjoy watching these videos. I've met so many awesome people through YouTube. So again, thank you to all of you guys. That's pretty much all I've got for my topics today, and I'm going to get to my crazy story now. I'll go ahead and take another swig. Alright, so a couple nights ago we had our employee, it was a company event, where kind of like a team building event, and we went to Splits, which is a bowling alley here in Gainesville, and had a great time. I actually used to play League way back in the day, and I worked at Alley Cats for a while, which is another bowling alley, and that one's actually been closed down now, but I used to bowl like 30 games a night, used to love it. I mean, my thumb would just bleed, and then you take what they call these little skin patches, and you put super glue over your wound, which hurts like fuck, and you put this little skin patch on, you can keep on bowling without too much problems. And I used to love bowling, and I stopped doing it for a long time. But anyway, we had this company event, so we went out. Everybody was having a great time. I was getting those, what my glasses are here, those giant ones. I think they're like 22-ounce glasses. I was going there, and I was getting the Big Nose from Swamp Head, one of my favorite ones. It's like 7.5%, I think, per volume. Awesome India Pale Ale. And I think I had like 3 of those, maybe, I think honestly 3 of those, and I had one of the grapefruit Sam Adams, but these giant ass glasses. And then of course the boss was buying shots, so we were doing that. We had a competition, a little bet, me and my buddy with the boss, and whoever he chose to pick, for $50, whoever won the game between us would get 50. Me and my buddy won. That was awesome. And I actually bowled a 210, which I don't know if you guys know, that's pretty hard to do, to break 200 when you're bowling. That means you're not leaving any open frames. You're getting all spares or strikes, which, I mean, obviously I got a whole lot more spares than I did strikes, but that was pretty good for all of these years not bowling. I still have my custom ball. I still, go. What sucks is I am so sore. My leg hurts like fuck. My arm hurts. I realized, man, I am so out of shape. Like, it was brutal. But that's not the worst of it. So I leave there. I decided to go hang out with my friend who owns a bar in downtown Gainesville, and he wasn't there, so I wandered around town, found him at another bar. We were hanging out there listening to live music, I guess. I don't remember. I'm looking at the pictures on my phone. I only have a few of them, and there's some pictures of a live band, so obviously we were jamming out to somebody. drinking there. Then I walked him back to his bar, closed that thing down, and this is where it gets really scary. And I gotta say that I'm like a cat in a sense, that I must have 9 lives when it comes to law enforcement. And as much as I might be hard on law enforcement for some of the actions that I see on TV, it really does all kind of boil down to, I think, the attitude you have towards some of these officers, because I'm always nothing but the most respectful. But I was apparently pulled over, and I still don't entirely remember. I have little bits and pieces, these flashes, that come to me, but apparently I was pulled over, and that's not good when you're blacked out, when you don't know what the fuck's going on, you're drunk. You're obviously way too drunk to be behind the wheel. But in my rationale, I know exactly what I was doing, because I was pulled over in Taco Bell parking lot. So I left there and was going, hey, I'm going to go get some food. I don't think I had eaten all day, so I went to Taco Bell. But I have this flash of them, you know, I get out of my car, I'm talking, I remember him saying I was driving like an idiot. So I don't know what the fuck I was doing, I have no idea. But they had like all of these, you know, there was an SUV cop, there was 3 other cars, I had all these cop cars behind me. And I really don't know exactly what happened or what was said. I know I was utmost respectful, but for some reason the officer let me get in my car, pull it into the parking spot, park it, and leave. And that's unheard of, because this is now like the 3rd or 4th time I've had cops pull me over or interact with me when I'm hammered, when I'm completely drunk and should not be driving, and I've gotten away from it. So I don't know, my luck's gonna run out. I cannot do that kind of shit anymore. I have to exercise better control when I go out and say, nope, you know, no, I'm not going to have another shot. I'm not going to have another drink. I'm good enough. Because, man, it's just not worth it to get a DUI and ruin your life or have something happen. I do distinctly remember him asking me if I've ever been in trouble with law, and I always say no, I've never, because I've never had anything, nothing's ever happened. I've never been in trouble with the law. So all I know is they let me park, and I remember across the street, it's kind of weird in this college town, but we have what we call like the student ghetto, and it's kind of like all of these small, like, you know, rundown kind of little places that are all kind of off the main drag, but they're all like, you know, student housing. A lot of students will rent out these little places, and I guess like right behind the Taco Bell there's these houses that are sitting there, so you can kind of see the people in the parking lot. And as I get done with them, I hear somebody shout at me from the porch, hey, come on over. So I walk over, and these super cool ass fucking people were all hanging out, and they're like, dude, I can't fucking believe what just happened. How are you not in jail? Blah, blah, blah. And they're like, here, sit down, hang out with us, have a beer. I remember them giving me a beer. I mean, I obviously spilled some beer on me because I could smell it on my jeans when I woke up the next day. But I hung out with these guys for probably a couple hours just drinking and talking with them. They seem like really cool people. So I think what I'm going to do maybe later this week or something is just swing by one day, or maybe Friday or something, drop off a 6-pack of beer or something to them and say, hey guys, just want to say thanks. Because I thought that was so cool, man. They invited me over. I got to sit there. I was freaking out. I just remember sitting there looking at my car from their porch going, I just can't believe that just happened. I can't believe I'm not in jail right now. But what sucks even more than that is apparently at some point after this, I did drive home. So I don't know how long it was that I sat there. I don't know if I stayed till sunrise. I'm still trying to find a receipt or something, because I didn't get my Taco Bell, so I drove to some gas station that's nearby, and I got sandwiches. I vaguely remember looking for change in my car so that I could pay my bill, but I still had cash on me when I woke up, so I don't know. But I am really curious what happened that night, and I would love to talk with those guys, the people that lived in that house, and see what their opinions were, because, man, that shit was insane. Kids, don't drink and drive. Do not drink and drive. You will probably not be as lucky as I've been. And one day I'll tell you about the other experiences I've had where I was pulled over or had some sort of interaction where I should have gone to jail and I haven't. Because it does bear some repeating, and I have to give some respect to these officers. I can't believe that I was just able to go like that. So anyway, again, my big message, the moral story to this all is, again, if you're going to drink, do it home, stay home, or get yourself an Uber. Now I'm realizing we have all these damn Ubers around here, so I think next time if I'm going to hit up downtown Gainesville and party, because that spot, I swear, knock on wood, every single time I go downtown, I get pulled over. It's fucking crazy. I don't know what it is, but downtown, there's just cops everywhere, and you just can't get away with it. They're looking for the college kids that are partying, that are getting wasted, but, man, it still blows my mind. I mean, I can't believe I didn't go to jail. So anyway, on that note, we're going to kill this beer. This one's for all of you. Please listen to me. Stay safe. Do not do what I do and get behind the wheel sometimes after drinking, because it's a very, very bad decision. Anyway, salute. Thankfully, I am home for the night, so I'm not doing anything. I am never, I can say I'm never, but I plan to not ever get behind the wheel and do some stupid shit like that again. Anyway, love you guys. Appreciate all your support. Don't forget, if you have any questions, topics you'd like to hear me discuss in next week's video, leave them down below in the comments. Always love interacting with you guys. And this has really become one of my favorite video series because it's just such a good time. I start out sober, and by the end, 30 minutes later, I got a good buzz like I do right now. Thanks again for the suggestion, G13 O'Keefe. I did enjoy the Naddy Daddy. It's not so bad at all. And, love you guys. Appreciate all the support. Please take my advice. Do not drink and drive. Not only is it bad for you and what could happen to your future and your life, it's bad for anybody who could be on the road that you might sideswipe or you might hit. But anyway, again, thank you for all your support. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. I've got new stuff coming out just about every day of the week. Again, I slacked this week because, man, this weekend, every time I plan to sit down and do this kind of stuff, a whole lot of stuff comes up. I had the bowling event, and then with being sick, and then being all sore from the bowling and everything that happened Saturday night, I didn't feel like doing shit, so I was unprepared. This week's probably not going to have a whole bunch of videos put up, but it's been a crazy weekend. Anyway, again, love you all, and as always, stay toasty, my friends.